Hey, it's Lauren. Today I wanted to do a slightly different video for you where I bring you through my entire day's worth of a beauty routine, starting from first thing in the morning to the very last thing I do at night. So mostly the way I start my day is by wiping my face off with some cool water. I typically don't use like an actual cleanser in the morning because all there's really been on my skin is my skincare from the night before. So really, I just want to wipe that off and give myself a fresh slate. These little makeup eraser wipes are fantastic, by the way. I got them at Costco. They had like a 7-pack of them and like a really big one too. And I just absolutely love these because you can throw them in the wash. They take off any remainder of your makeup too, by the way, but they're just super soft. And so it's just really nice to kind of start the day with these. They're very gentle, which I appreciate. The next thing that I typically use is a facial mist. I've been using this one from Elemis, the Superfood Kefir Tea Mist. This was a PR sample that they sent me and I have really enjoyed it. It has like a very, almost like herbal smell, and it actually smells like their Superfood facial oil as well. And once my face has been misted, I go in with my Ialuset, which is from the French pharmacy. I will link up above for you in case you are interested. I did a video review of tons of French pharmacy skincare favorites recently, and I just really love this because it's this nice hydrating cream. It's a really good base for the day, and I like how this makes my skin feel. I feel like it really helps to kind of plump up any little fine lines, and it just really is like an extra dose of hydration. It does take a minute to rub in, I will say that, but it's pretty darn fantastic. You can see after I apply this, it makes my skin almost look kind of velvety. I don't know what it is about this stuff. I just really have enjoyed it. I already have a backup too, if you need any more proof of how I feel about it. So nice. Next, I go in with my Live Tinted Huegaurd. This is my moisturizer SPF for the day. I don't feel like I need an extra moisturizer with this. And I will say, like, I live in Colorado, so my skin can tend to get a little bit dry. But I love this stuff. It's a mineral SPF. I also did a video on this recently, which I'll link up here. But it is probably the first sunscreen I have used that does not make me feel greasy, and because I can use it as both my moisturizer and my SPF, I cut down the amount of things that are going on my face. I feel like sometimes when you layer too many things and then you go try to put your makeup on, everything starts looking kind of chunky, and I just don't like that. Or oily, because a lot of sunscreens have left me like Tin Man reflective. Not cute. But I love this stuff. This blends in so nicely. And it really does help to kind of prep and prime your skin for the day. The next thing, which I'm going to do off camera because I don't really feel like I need to show you this, I'm going to apply some deodorant and then we'll go and do my makeup for the day. All right, so we are in my other portion of my bathroom where we're going to do my makeup. And I'm gonna do this as like a get ready with me style video, but I'm not gonna talk too much about the products because there's something else that's been bouncing around my mind lately, and I wanna talk about it. I wanna start a conversation about this. Okay, so the other day, I sort of had like shower thoughts going on where I was like, you know, I am really feeling overwhelmed by short form content. And like, obviously as a creator, you know, I'm doing things to try to stay relevant and, you know, trying to please the algorithm, because basically every platform now is like pushing short form content. And I'll be honest, it's overwhelming to feel like that's the only thing you are pigeonholed into doing if you're trying to have any traction or visibility. So obviously, like, TikTok has really blown up, and because of their success, Meta, the parent company of Instagram, is like, we need a piece of the pie. So what do? They push Reels all the time. And now, if you are not making reels, if you're just trying to post photos, your content does not get seen by basically anybody. And so they really try to pigeonhole you into creating content that they can utilize on their platform to compete with other apps and entities. And so sometimes it's fun to make those kinds of videos, but I'll be very honest, if you're expected to make that kind of content every single day to stay relevant in the algorithm, it is exhausting because you are sitting down, you are doing the actual filming, you are doing the editing, you're having to come up with captions and a thumbnail, and trying to do that all of the time. There's not enough reward for the work that goes into it. So it's just a bit frustrating. So I started asking myself, like, why? Why is video content, this short form video content, why is this so popular and being pushed so hard? And so I really started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I think a big portion of it stems from the fact that social media has taken over in terms of people's viewership. People are watching a lot of content and media via social media. Information spreads very fast that way. Well, when you think back to previous generations and how they received information, it was from news stations. News stations were hiring entire crews, creating the content, having editors and producers and all of this stuff. And in turn, advertisers would come to them and run ads in between their segments, right? But now the world has shifted and we use social media a lot. We're on it all day on our phones. We have a portable device to look at news and things that are happening. So you've got these companies that are creating this platform for people, trying to encourage people to create content to share on it all of the time. And then what do they get? They get advertisers that want to pay to put ads in between the segments of content that they don't have to pay people for to make. So in a sense, like, we have become both the product and the cast. And the companies that are profiting are the big, Meta, TikTok, I don't even know what else. YouTube is trying to do like YouTube shorts now. But anyway, all of this has like been on my mind, and I'm like, what are we doing this for? We're not doing it because it's super beneficial to us. We're doing it because we think it'll keep us relevant, and we're really not getting as much in return. And additionally, just kind of piggybacking off of that, I have noticed when I spend too much time like sitting and scrolling and looking at all of these short videos and stuff, yes, they are entertaining. Yes, you can learn a lot. But I've noticed, I check in with myself, like after I've watched them for a while, like, how am I feeling? And most of the time, like 98% of the time, after I finish watching a whole bunch of videos, I feel anxious. I feel jittery. I feel like I need to go do something, but I don't know what. I feel unsettled. And so really what happened was this weekend, I really just kind of disappeared from social media. My mother-in-law was like, is everything okay? You're just kind of gone. And I was like, no, everything's fine. I'm feeling overwhelmed by social media. Like it feels unhealthy because there's such a push to keep us on these platforms, and can't even put our phones down to like live our lives. It feels very unhealthy, at least for me. If any of this resonates with you all, I would love to know, because this is just really something I've been feeling pretty heavily lately, and I've really had to ask myself, where do I want to go next with my content? Well, I spent the weekend kind of thinking about all of that, and I love creating video content. I just don't like creating little tiny short videos all of the time because it's an expectation of an app that's trying to use me for their own ad monetary gain. I just don't really like that. So I do happen to love YouTube, and I've always wanted to create longer videos, but I feel like if it's not a review, oftentimes it just hasn't done well. I feel like this style of video, this slowed down type of video, just chilling and hanging in my bathroom, like a lot of times has not done as well. And so we'll see with this particular video how the numbers do, but I like doing this. I like slowed down content that doesn't feel so rushed. It's different for me. It's something that I want to explore more, and mostly because I am personally feeling so burnt out by short form video content. Like, it's exhausting. Okay, so this Bodyography stick is actually very nice. I just got this the other day. This is called the Pro Perfect, and I am the shade Wheat. I actually really like it though. I love stick foundations so much. So I'm gonna mattify with a little bit of this Make powder. This stuff is utterly fantastic. I did a review on this recently, and I think this is probably one of my favorite powders just because it gives my skin like such a beautifully blurred appearance. The blush that I just used was Ines from Violette FR, which I also have been reaching for nonstop because it's just such a soft, pretty flush. You can really build it up. I just did a softer wash of it today. I've also really been loving the new Jones Road bronzer. This was in a recent video, and if you want to get this, you can get this as part of the Bobby kit. But it is just like such a great color, and the texture and finish is just super easy to work with. I really, really love this. I tend to not like buy too many bronzers because it takes me a while to like work through them. But I can tell you, out of the bronzers I have right now, this one is just like perfect. All right, warmed up a bit. Just like makes my complexion look so much more alive. The other thing I've been thinking about, and I know that I've heard this sentiment echoed before on Instagram, is that, you know, people miss the old Instagram. You know, for a while I really embraced more of like the reels and the short form content until I just felt like that's all Instagram cared about, and I just feel so burnt out as someone who has done those reels for so long. The interesting thing about it, so pretty. This is Bodyography. They're glitter pigment in the shade Off the Hook. I immediately messaged my friend Kate and I was like, this seems like a Kate shade. And she's like, I love that one. Tell me you know your friends. Okay, so like, yeah, totally feeling burnt out from Instagram, just pushing nothing but reels. But there's also this weird element where there's really not another platform where you could do that, just sharing photos. And now it's like you kind of can't really even do that on Instagram, which is a little bit unfortunate if you ask me. They took the one thing that made Instagram so unique and special and they killed it. I'm tired of platforms trying to be like everyone else. And, you know, I've tried my hand at the YouTube shorts because obviously YouTube's like, oh, let's do short form content too. But it just doesn't satisfy me in the same way as like sitting down and making a video and sharing things that I like. So another thing that's also been bouncing around my mind lately, which is a bit interesting, I am really trying to rein in my beauty budget because we really want to buy a house. Now that we know we're going to be staying in Colorado, I've really had to evaluate my purchasing habits for beauty, which makes it very interesting with content, and especially when you've been someone who has provided a lot of like short, snappy reviews. It's kind of my hope that like I'll be able to, you know, continue to bring you like the newest and latest and greatest, but I do have to be very mindful of how I am spending my money right now, because houses ain't cheap and interest rates are obnoxious. I'm really hoping that'll come down a bit over the next year. It's really unfortunate when you want to be a first-time home buyer and it's like the worst market you could possibly come into. This is the Make eyeliner, and I absolutely love this stuff. It does not move once you get it in place. And this is the shade Violet, I think it's a Violet Abyss, yeah. And this color on green eyes, I just love so much. And they also give you this little brush to like kind of drag and stretch that color a bit, which is convenient. I do have some partnerships with some brands coming up that I'm very excited to do video content for. One of which you may know because I have talked about them on end, like on my Instagram and my stories. Virtue Labs, I'm going to be doing a full Virtue routine. My initial Virtue Labs review, I really just kind of talked about all of the products, but this time I want to actually show you all of them in action. So I'm going to be giving you a little rundown on a lot of my favorites. I'm also going to try some new ones that they've recently launched. What is going on here? What is this? A weird little gap there. I don't like it. So yeah, there's a hair care video coming up very soon. And then I have some skincare, some really innovative skincare that I'm going to be testing out. They sent me a few products and then I actually ended up purchasing some additional things on my own for a more comprehensive review. But that will be up within about a month. Anytime I do skincare reviews, I really want to take my time to get to know the product. I really want to take the time for it to actually make a difference in my skin if it is going to do something. And this one is very, very special. This is a very special line, and I don't want to reveal too much about it just yet, but it will be one that I am very excited about, and I will be doing before and after photos because I think that is something that's going to be very helpful with this line in particular. It is more of a specialty line. It is something specific for targeting certain concerns, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it, but I can't wait to show you. All right, we're going to do, I fill my brows with a powder, and then I'm going to do a little bit of like a gel on top. This is the one from Gen C, their powder brow gel, and it's in the shade Taupe. I really want them to make an auburn shade because like I feel like I have to fill my brows with something a bit more warm before I go in with this, otherwise it just looks too cool. But back to the whole like house situation, like obviously getting your first home is something that's very exciting, but I will just say, particularly as a 31-year-old woman who just really wants to have a home of her own, I'm tired of filming the way that I do. Like, you may be able to kind of tell where I'm at, but I literally sit on my toilet backwards facing a window to get the best lighting in my house because we don't have enough space anywhere else for me to set up a filming studio. We only have 2 bedrooms. Our living room is a combination of living room, office, playroom, workout room. There is no room in my house to sit and have a filming studio. So that is something that I am like itching for. I cannot wait to actually have that and make it beautiful and make it my own space and not sit backwards on a toilet to film video for you. It just feels so ridiculous like when I sit there and say it out loud. But like this is my best option and my best lighting right now. This is the Gen C mascara, by the way, and I cannot get over how this makes my lashes look. I don't even curl them, okay? And it just makes them so long and fluffy and beautiful. You also may have noticed in my videos, you can hear cars going by, like right now. And that's because our house faces out on an extremely busy road. And so there's really not much I can do about that either. Like my dream is to have a quiet, beautiful little studio space just tucked away from all the noise and chaos and something that's more aesthetically pleasing than my gray and white bathroom. I think about my future house a lot and like how I want to decorate it, and because when you rent, you're very limited on how much you can do in your space to change it and make it feel like your own. And so after such a long time of not having the opportunity to really do much to my space to customize it, I've been looking at Architectural Digest magazines to get some home inspiration, and I'm gonna put some pictures up here because I get so excited when I think about my future home, and I want it to be colorful and happy and bright and inviting and energizing. And I've really kind of narrowed down the color palette that I want to have, and we already have some things in those shades, but I definitely want like some blues, some lighter blues, some kind of teal accents. I like a mixture of some more modern things with well cared for and updated antiques. I just want it to feel homey. I don't want it to feel cold. I don't really want to do the whole like gray and white everything. I want it to be a reflection of us, you know? Thinking about all of that and looking at these pictures, I had these hanging in my pantry. Looking at these every day is almost like a bit of a vision board, and it keeps me feeling excited about it. Even though it still feels so far away to have a home, I feel hopeful. We're hoping that like 9 months-ish from now, we will be able to get into a house. But we'll see what the market does. I'm just not over this mascara. It's so pretty. And it wears really well all day. Gen C is a brand that you're gonna continue to see some new launches and things from me. I'll share those as they come out. I'm just really a big fan though of how this looks. And I don't find it to be an overly complicated mascara to use. Mascara is one of those things that it often feels kind of like the icing on the cake to me, and I want it to be an enjoyable experience. If I am struggling to apply it, if it's annoying and tedious, I don't like them. I have just found I want a mascara that is good from the get-go. I don't want to have to wait like 2 months for it to thicken up or whatever, especially if I'm paying like over $20 for it. It needs to be good from the beginning, okay? Because there are too many other options out there that are perfect from the start. Now I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Artist Liner Pencil in Endless Cacao, and I love this shade as like a lip contour. Look at that. Just like immediately. I was doing my friend's makeup for a gala, and I started putting this on her, and initially before I started like blending it out and smoothing it out, she was like, I feel like the Queen of Hearts. I'm like, you're not wrong, it kind of does do that. But yeah, it's much better once it's blended out. I've also been lining my lips a bit differently, and I really love it. So I used to really go like all the way out here like with my liner, and it just made my lips look kind of heavy and frumpy. And I found this makeup artist, she's a Trish McAvoy makeup artist on TikTok. Again, TikTok does have its benefits. I just can't sit there all day on it, or it makes me feel fidgety. I'll link her. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I will link her here because she's full of all kinds of great tips. And so what she really kind of taught me was not to go all the way to the corner. And when you are lining, go slightly outside and really round that Cupid's bow, because it makes your lips look poutier. So like, look at the difference, okay? Like, it's really, really good. She's a wealth of information. Like, you find that natural line here and then go slightly outside of it and make sure to round it. I can't remember where I talked about this before, but I love a really pointed bowed Cupid's bow. If you have a very pronounced Cupid bow, I think it is so beautiful to really emphasize it. I'm a big fan of like kind of doing, you know, kind of going with what your features naturally want to do anyway. But I think especially with a Cupid's bow, it just looks so beautiful, like to actually emphasize that shape. Last thing I'm going to do is put on a little bit of Make Beauty Shock Layer. And I'm just going to dot it because I'm going to smooth it out. You can really wear this one more intense. I just want it a little softer today. And I'm kind of blending it and merging it in with that lip liner. All right, makeup for today. I need to wipe off my fingers. I'm gonna go get dressed and then we'll put on some perfume and then go from there. All right, I am dressed for the day. You can't see my full outfit, but I have on these cute little checkered pants. Anyway, I look like a little bronzed angel baby. I love it. That bronzer from Jones Road, so good. I highly recommend it. Okay, so perfume for the day. I'm gonna wear my Chloe Nomade. Yes, this is like traditional big box store. It's not a niche perfume like I often gravitate towards, but this one I just find to be a bit unique. I don't know. It's like got this slight plummy opening with some oak moss and freesia. Yes, I am spraying aggressively because my husband is home today and he loves this one on me. So another thing I want to talk about, because I'm looking at my hair today, I have a technique that my stylist did on me. Yes, I am a licensed hairdresser, but I still enjoy getting my hair done by someone else every now and then. So she cut my hair the other day and I told her afterwards I wanted big supermodel, like 90s blowout style. And so she did this technique on me. And I finally got the brushes for myself and did it yesterday. And it still looks cute today. So like, I'll probably do a video on that for you as well. But anyway, this is the look for today, and we will check back in tonight when I'm getting ready for bed. All right, here we are. So it's the end of the day. As you can tell, I'm quite shiny. I worked out, my hair is, you know, up and whatever. Overall, I feel like most of my makeup held out pretty good today. The only thing I'll say is the Bodyography is kind of separating through my T-zone. And I don't know that I really love it because I noticed it sort of oxidized and I felt like it started looking a lot more like yellow on my skin after I had it on for a little bit. Like I could actually visibly see it more. So yeah, not my favorite, but can we hear it for the eye makeup? Like everything kind of just like stayed on today, even though the rest of me is starting to melt. So what I'm going to do for this end of the day session is I'm going to prep myself for a bath because it's just sometimes you need a bath. So I'm going to use this Elemis Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm, and I love this stuff. This was gifted to me by them, and a little goes a long way, and this stuff just seems to last forever. It does have a scent, and it's kind of herbaceous is probably the best way to say it. But I love how this really just breaks down everything on my face, rubs some across my eyes. This is going to be such a hot mess when I, start working it off. So basically with this, what you do is you work it all in, get your makeup to start breaking down, get your sunscreen to start breaking down. And then when you add water and start to emulsify, it almost becomes kind of a milky situation. So let me show you. So I put a little bit of water on my face. You can see it just really starts to emulsify. And then when I go and I rinse this off, it will sweep off pretty much all of my makeup. And then I usually do a second cleanse, I double cleanse, and I'll show you that too. But I'm gonna go rinse this off. I'll be right back. So you can see there's really not a ton of makeup left on my face, but now I'm gonna go in with my Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Gel Cleanser. I love this stuff. Like I'm kind of crushing this bottle. And so I'll just take some of this and work it onto my skin. And this really just sweeps off the rest of that cleansing balm. And tonight I want to do a mask, so I'm making sure to get everything off of my skin. This does tend to suds a bit more when you go to like really get in there. I'm gonna go rinse it off real quick. Since I am going to be sitting in the bath for a little bit, I do like to put on some sort of hair treatment, typically usually a face mask, and make it more of like an experience. So I'm going to use this Leonor Greyl oil, kind of like getting down to the last of it, but this is always really nice to put into your hair. Help make it softer, shinier, helps with kind of detangling. I just work this through the ends. It has kind of like this like vacation-y type smell to it. I really like it. It's got like gardenia and I think like lemongrass or something. I don't know. It just feels really nice. But anyway, so I'll kind of like work that through my hair. Sometimes I'll use like a boar bristle brush and really get that distributed evenly. I don't worry too much about it. But yeah, now that I'm nice and oily, what I'm going to do is pull all of this back up so that way it can just sort of like steep while I'm in the bath. Like so, a little bun up there. And then I want to put on a face mask, and I'm kind of debating like what I want to do. I know. I've noticed more recently that I've been getting some blackheads like on my nose and kind of some clogging through my T-zone. So I'm going to use my Peach and Lily Pore Proof Perfecting Clay Mask. This one is really nice. I don't feel like it's overly drying even though it's a clay. Take a nice healthy scoop and just squish that all over my face. I do still have to be careful around like my nose and mouth because occasionally I will still get perioral dermatitis bumps. They'll pop up and my skin's angry, and usually now I can like kind of just like leave them alone and not put anything around that area for a few days and they'll clear up on their own. But I do have to be careful. Make sure to get the nose really well because that's where I've been having most of my issues. The final thing I want to mention before I go take my bath, this stuff, these bath bombs, Being Frenchy, the name is, the name is what it is. This stuff smells freaking amazing. The cashmere vanilla, it's just blissful. Like if you like vanilla, cozy kind of scents, you'll love this. I'm gonna go hop into my bath now. All right, I am back post-bath. I feel so good right now. Like there is nothing like a piping hot bath to like reset me from the day. So I wanted to share a few things that I used while I was in the shower. For my face, I use the Verse Daymaker Micro Crystal Exfoliant. I think this is fantastic if you are looking for a physical exfoliant. It is not overly gritty. It's really fine and it just makes your skin look so nice. And then I also used the Pantene Rose, Miracle Moisture Boost with rose water. I love this. If you missed it, I did do a like hairdresser reviews Pantene, and this is my like next ones that I bought. So like the Pantene is still going strong and I still approve. So now we're gonna do my nighttime skin routine. I'm gonna keep it very, very simple because that's how I do it. I'm gonna go in with my Elemis spray again. I'm going to use my Ialuset again. I love it. I'm a creature of habit, you guys. When I find something that works for me, I'm just going to keep using it because it makes my skin happy. And then after I get this applied, I'm going to seal it in. I've been alternating lately because it's starting to get cold and just kind of dry between Aquaphor and my Embryolisse Le Creme Concentrate. All right, there's that. And tonight I'm going to use my Embryolisse. I'm getting down to the very bottom of this little tube. This stuff is absolutely fantastic though. All right, so here's this. This is just so wonderful on the skin. It almost acts like a mild occlusive because it has some, I think it's beeswax in it. I love what this does on my skin. Sometimes if I'm feeling extra dry, I'll use a little bit of this in the morning, also underneath my Live Tinted Huegaurd. It just makes your skin feel so supple though. And I will say I do have somewhat sensitive skin, and the fragrance in this does not irritate my skin at all. Now I know a lot of you have reached out to me in the past and asked me about my eyelashes. Yes, these are all mine. I don't have lash extensions. I do use a lash serum. I've used a wide variety over the past few years. This one is Revitalash, and the reason that I got this one compared to some of the other ones that I've had is that this is made by a dermatologist. He made it for his wife while she was undergoing chemotherapy. And so what makes this one a bit different than other lash serums that I've used, this formula is designed not to run. And this little brush is really, really tiny. And the reason why that is important is you don't want to get a lot of these in your eyes because they can cause things like meibomian gland dysfunction, which is essentially like dry eyes. So I just do a very tiny little swipe. Nothing crazy. That's it. Oh, one more thing, because I am a lip fiend in this time of year. I use some Aquaphor. Yes, I have a gigantic tub of this stuff. Saves my lips right now. And cuticles and my face when it's feeling dry. That is the nighttime skin routine. It is very, very simple. I really don't do anything crazy with my skin. I've just found over the years less is really more for me. My skin just responds better with that. Now I'm going to move on to my hair. This is the Better Roots from Evolve. This is the serum. I will be doing a dedicated video to this, but this has really changed my hair. I lost a lot of hair after I had my Achilles tendon surgery. For those of you who don't know, I tore my Achilles tendon at my brother-in-law's wedding. That sounds, I will never get over how ridiculous that sounds, but yes, that actually happened. I was in Mexico. Amazing. So anyway, I just use a little bit of this and I put it all over my scalp with this little dropper, and then I go in and I massage it. But basically what I've noticed is I've been using this, gosh, going on 5 months now, but I took a before and after photo to show the dramatic difference that this has had on my hair regrowth. So I'm going to put that picture here. It is a striking difference between the density of the first and second photo of the hairs around my scalp, because my hair's wet right now, so like obviously you can see my scalp, but like when my hair is dry, you could see my scalp before I started using this. And since I've started, it's really thickened up my roots, and like I feel like all of this is super plush and then my ends are much more wispy in comparison, but I do feel like my hair is getting thicker again, which I'm so thankful for. So I'll put a link to this down in the comment box below, but I will be doing a full review of this and kind of going into the science behind it as well. Next, I'm going to use some of this Triple Bond Complex from Living Proof. I absolutely love this stuff. All you need is about 2 pumps if you have hair that's kind of like mine. My hair is on the longer side, but it's also really fine, so I kind of do like a pump and a half. So there it is. And it's best if you can leave this on your hair for up to 10 minutes before you go in and start styling. I think this stuff is absolutely fantastic. The first time I used this on my hair and I blow dried it, I barely did anything to it and it looked like silk. Like it was the only product that I had throughout the lengths of my hair, and I was absolutely shocked at what it did for my hair. And I do feel like it does improve the health of your hair. It's not just when you use it. You're supposed to use it maybe like once, twice a week. But I have really, really loved this. I think it's fantastic. Once I get that in there though, I do like to use a brush that's good with wet hair. My hair doesn't get super tangly when I wash it, thankfully. So that's why I'm not afraid to go in like this with a brush. I also do think that that product adds so much slip to your hair. Honestly, it's just so, so, so good. And the next thing I'm going to do, because once I say goodnight to you, Ollie, I'm going to blow dry my hair just a little bit. I'm going to use this Lanza, what is it? The Healing Style Design Foam. My hairdresser used this on me when I went and saw her last time. The volume. So I immediately went out to a pro store afterwards and bought some for myself. So here we go. Nice big fluff of old school mousse. But you know what is different about this mousse? It does not feel as drying or crunchy in your hair the way like old school mousse used to. But I find that it just gives me a ton of volume and I feel like my hair stays cleaner for a few days. I can't remember. Let me check real quick. This probably does have some alcohol in it because most of these products do. Keratin amino acids. Haven't read alcohol yet. Where are you? You have to be in here, don't you? Wait a minute. Is this alcohol free? This writing is so small, it's making my brain hurt. Well, I'll be darned. This does not say like straight up alcohol. Maybe that's why it doesn't have that like stiff, drying feeling. Amazing. I knew I love this stuff for a reason. It's so good. If you watched this whole video, thanks for sticking around. I hope that you enjoyed it. I really like having the space to just kind of open up and talk more freely rather than like my really like hard-hitting quick reviews. It's nice to actually just relax a bit, to slow down a bit. And I hope that you enjoy that too, because I would love to do more of this type of video that's just a little more slowed down, a little more casual, more like we're just hanging out. I like that. I like watching those kind of videos personally myself sometimes. I don't have as much time as I used to watch those, but before I, was a mom and like had a whole household to run, I used to really love sitting and watching really laid back chill videos. So I hope that this is what that has been for you. And if you want to see more from me, make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Oh God. Bye.